There's something magnetic about a woman who knows who she is. Not the kind of confidence that shouts or competes, but the quiet, graceful kind that moves with purpose, softness, and self-respect. That's the kind of energy men can't look away from. It's not about makeup or curves or how loud you laugh. It's something deeper, something ancient, something that lives in the way you walk into a room, calm, centered, and aware of your own worth. Today, we're diving into that energy. The feminine quality men can't resist, not because it's manipulative or performative, but because it's real. When a woman embodies this, she becomes unforgettable. Not in a dramatic way, but in a way that lingers. In his mind, his emotions, and even in the silence after she leaves. So before we begin, I want you to take a deep breath. Let go of the noise, the comparisons, the dating rules you've been fed. For the next few minutes, it's just you and me, woman to woman. I want to talk to you about how to reconnect with the part of you that men crave but can never quite describe. And if you're ready to rediscover that magnetic feminine energy within you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay with me until the very end, because what we're going to unpack today will change the way you move in relationships and how you see yourself. 1. Stillness that speaks. When most women think about attraction, they think of doing, saying the right thing, responding quickly, showing interest, proving they care. But the most magnetic women don't rush to fill silence. They don't chase validation. They understand the power of stillness. There's a calmness about them, a quiet confidence that says, I don't need to perform to be seen. This kind of woman doesn't fear pauses in conversation. She lets her presence speak. She knows that her energy is felt before her words are heard. Think about the queen archetype, regal, grounded, unbothered. She's not frantic. She doesn't move for attention. She knows she is the attention. The queen doesn't need to prove her worth. She simply embodies it. In psychology, this presence is often linked to emotional regulation, the ability to stay calm even when the world tests you. Men are deeply drawn to this, not because they're analyzing it, but because it evokes something primal in them: safety. A man feels safe around a woman who isn't constantly seeking reassurance. He senses that her emotions have depth, but they're not chaos. And in that stillness, he feels grounded. It's ironic. In a world that celebrates loudness, the women who whisper with their presence are often the ones remembered. But here's the deeper truth. Stillness isn't the absence of emotion. It's emotional maturity in motion. It's when your femininity flows without needing to control or prove. When you trust that being receptive doesn't make you weak, it makes you powerful. Because receptivity is not passivity. It's choosing to respond, not react. It's the ability to hold your own emotional energy with grace. Ask yourself this. When was the last time you allowed yourself to simply be in a man's presence without overthinking what he was thinking? When was the last time you trusted your silence more than your words? Men can feel when a woman is internally at peace. They may not articulate it, but they experience it as mystery, allure, and strength. The kind of strength that doesn't fight for dominance. It radiates calm assurance. That's the energy of a woman who knows her worth. And that's the energy that no man can resist. 2. Soft power. We live in a generation that tells women to take control, never show weakness, match a man's energy. And while independence and strength are beautiful, somewhere along the way, many women began to equate softness with submission. But the truth is, feminine power doesn't come from competing with masculine energy. It comes from complementing it. The most captivating women understand that softness isn't about lowering your standards. It's about elevating your presence. It's the art of being strong and gentle, a paradox that leaves men completely fascinated. Soft power is when you can set boundaries without bitterness, when you can express needs without demanding, when your emotions have depth but not drama, It's when you can look at a man and say, I expect respect, but you say it with grace, not aggression. That's the kind of power that melts resistance, not through force, but through feminine magnetism. Let's look at one of history's great feminine figures, Cleopatra. People often remember her beauty, but what truly made her legendary was her composure. She could command armies, navigate politics, and yet her charm lay in her ability to stay emotionally present and composed. She embodied both strength and allure, the essence of soft power. She knew that the way she carried herself could shift a room long before she ever spoke. In modern psychology, this is emotional intelligence at its highest level. The capacity to influence without control, to guide energy rather than force it. Men find this irresistible because it allows them to relax into their own masculine energy. When a woman embodies soft power, she invites protection, not conflict. She becomes a mirror that reflects a man's best self, not through submission, but through emotional balance. You've probably seen it, that woman who walks into a room and instantly changes the atmosphere, not because she's loud, but because her presence is harmonious. She listens deeply. She doesn't need to dominate conversations or flirt excessively. Her energy says, I know who I am, and I'm comfortable letting you be who you are. That's soft power in action. But to embody this, you have to unlearn a few things. You have to let go of the urge to prove your strength all the time. You have to believe that grace is not weakness, and kindness doesn't make you naive. There's a quiet confidence in choosing calmness when others expect chaos. There's power in saying less, in smiling with authenticity, in allowing vulnerability to be part of your strength. Because when you are genuinely open, you're not losing power, you're deepening connection. Here's a question to sit with. Have you mistaken your armor for empowerment? Because sometimes the walls we build to protect ourselves also block the intimacy we crave. The modern woman is told to be everything: independent yet romantic, assertive yet soft, confident yet humble. But when you stop performing those contradictions and instead start living from your truth, when your actions flow from peace instead of pressure, you become magnetic. Soft power is not about being easy to please. It's about being emotionally intelligent enough to know when to lean in and when to step back. It's trusting your intuition over fear. It's choosing empathy without losing standards. And it's being able to say, I can be kind, but I can also walk away when something doesn't align with my peace. Men don't fall for women who try to control them. They fall for women whose presence brings them home to themselves. The kind of woman who moves through the world with both self-respect and compassion. The kind of woman who knows that her softness is her strength. That's the balance every feminine woman must master. Because once you do, you'll notice something incredible. Men don't just want to be around you, they admire you. They're drawn to the mystery of how you can be gentle yet firm, open yet selective, loving yet free. And that's when attraction becomes more than physical. It becomes spiritual. 3. Emotional alchemy. Every woman has felt it. That swirl of emotions when something doesn't go her way. The disappointment when a text doesn't come. The sting of rejection. The ache of waiting for someone to choose her. But here's where true feminine mastery begins. The ability to turn pain into power. Emotional alchemy is the art of transforming emotional wounds into wisdom. It's how you turn heartbreak into self-respect, insecurity into introspection, and longing into creative energy. You see, emotions are not weaknesses, they're information. They reveal your values, your desires, and your boundaries. The problem isn't feeling too much, it's not knowing what to do with what you feel. Society teaches women to suppress emotions or weaponize them. But the feminine woman, the emotionally evolved woman, learns to hold her feelings without letting them drown her. She doesn't run from sadness, she sits with it. She doesn't lash out in anger, she listens to it. She allows every emotion to teach her something about herself. This is what men find spellbinding, because emotional alchemy gives you depth, and depth is rare. A woman who can experience pain without becoming bitter, who can be disappointed without becoming cold, radiates a strength that feels safe and irresistible. She becomes unpredictable in the most beautiful way, not because she's chaotic, but because she's alive. Think of Frida Kahlo. Her art was born from pain, but it didn't make her a victim. She turned her suffering into self-expression. That's emotional alchemy. It's what happens when you stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That question alone shifts you from victimhood to power. Here's something to reflect on. What emotions are you avoiding because you fear they'll make you look weak? What if those emotions are the very key to your growth, your creativity, and your deeper feminine magnetism? A woman who has mastered emotional alchemy doesn't suppress her heart. She refines it. She understands that love isn't about escaping pain. It's about growing through it. And men, the right men, sense that depth immediately. They feel it in the way she forgives, the way she speaks, and the way she carries herself after being hurt. That kind of grace is unforgettable. 4. Radiant self-worth. There's something incredibly powerful about a woman who knows her value. Not because she repeats affirmations, but because she lives like she believes them. Radiant self-worth isn't loud or defensive. It doesn't need to prove anything. It simply exists. It glows from within, and it changes how everyone responds to you, especially men. When you truly value yourself, your energy shifts. You no longer chase attention, you command respect. You stop settling for breadcrumbs because you know you're the feast. And the funny thing, when you embody that energy, the world mirrors it back to you. Men who used to play games suddenly sense they can't. People who once took advantage start treating you differently. Because your boundaries aren't built from anger anymore, they're built from clarity. Radiant self-worth is the kind of confidence that doesn't collapse when you're single and doesn't inflate when you're desired. It's stable, it's sovereign, it's not dependent on external validation. And that's exactly what draws high-quality men. Because deep down, men respect women who respect themselves. Let's take inspiration from someone like Eleanor Roosevelt. She wasn't traditionally feminine in the Hollywood sense, but her self-assurance commanded the respect of nations. Her power wasn't in appearance, it was in her integrity, her intelligence, and her unwavering sense of identity. That's what radiant self-worth looks like, alignment between who you are and what you accept. Now, here's where many women get stuck. They think self-worth means being perfect, always confident, always knowing their value. But self-worth isn't a performance, it's a practice. It's built every time you say no to what doesn't honor you. Every time you walk away from situations that drain you. Every time you choose rest over running after someone who's not choosing you back. It's those quiet, everyday moments that build your worth from the inside out. Ask yourself, do you negotiate your value in relationships? Do you find yourself giving more than you receive, hoping it'll make someone stay? What if your worth didn't need to be earned, only remembered? Because when you move through the world as though you're already enough, you stop trying to audition for love. You start radiating it, and men feel that. They may not understand it logically, but they can't resist it emotionally. You become the kind of woman who doesn't beg for affection. She attracts it naturally, and that's not arrogance, that's alignment. 5. Feminine mystery. There's an old saying that what's rare is desired, but what's mysterious is unforgettable. And mystery is one of the most misunderstood aspects of feminine energy. Mystery isn't about playing games or hiding who you are, it's about having emotional and intellectual depth. About not revealing every thought, fear, or feeling all at once. It's allowing people to discover you layer by layer. A mysterious woman doesn't overshare to feel connected. She lets curiosity build. She's expressive but not exposed. She's open yet selective. Men are drawn to her because she gives them space to wonder, to pursue, to earn her trust. She moves through life with a quiet sense of inner world. A world not everyone gets access to? That's intoxicating. But here's the secret. Feminine mystery isn't about withholding. It's about embodiment. It's knowing that your energy speaks louder than explanations. It's choosing to hold something sacred for yourself, whether that's your time, your body, your emotions, or your dreams. In a world where everyone's constantly broadcasting their lives, mystery becomes magnetic. It says, I don't need to be seen by everyone. I choose who sees me. Think of women like Audrey Hepburn. Her charm wasn't just in her beauty, it was in her restraint. Her gentleness left space for imagination. She didn't chase attention, she invited it. That's the power of subtlety. That's the essence of feminine mystery. Psychologically, mystery works because it triggers curiosity, one of the deepest drives in human connection. When you reveal yourself slowly, people invest more deeply. They want to know more, understand more, earn more of your world. And this isn't manipulation, it's emotional pacing. It's respecting that intimacy grows stronger when it's not rushed. Let me ask you something. Do you reveal too much too soon, hoping transparency will create connection? Or do you allow yourself to be known gradually, trusting that what's real doesn't need to be forced? A woman with mystery doesn't chase closure. She doesn't rush to define everything. She's comfortable with ambiguity because she knows who she is even when others don't fully understand her. That's what keeps men intrigued. She's consistent, but not predictable. She's open-hearted, but not wide open. She invites, but never begs. When you master feminine mystery, you learn the art of holding back just enough. Not out of fear, but out of discernment. You stop giving away your energy to everyone who asks for it. You become intentional about what parts of you are earned, not assumed. And that's when men stop seeing you as an option and start seeing you as the one they can't forget. This quality, mystery, is what keeps attraction alive long after chemistry fades. Because mystery isn't about distance, it's about depth. It's about keeping your essence alive and sacred, even in love. The woman who keeps her soul nourished, her mind curious, and her heart discerning will never lose her allure. 6. Grace under fire. It's easy to be graceful when everything is going your way. When love feels secure, work feels fulfilling, and life feels smooth. But true feminine grace reveals itself when life tests you. When things fall apart, when love feels uncertain, when you're misunderstood or mistreated. That's when your energy speaks the loudest. Grace under fire isn't about pretending you're unaffected, it's about choosing your response with intention instead of impulse. It's about remembering who you are, even when someone else forgets your worth. There's a quiet, almost regal power in a woman who refuses to be dragged into chaos, when she can respond with dignity instead of defensiveness, when she walks away, not out of pride, but out of peace. That's the kind of energy that leaves a lasting impression, not because she's perfect, but because she's emotionally sovereign. Let's look at one of literature's great feminine figures, Elizabeth Bennet, from Pride and Prejudice. She faced judgment, misunderstanding, and arrogance, yet she never lost her self-respect or her wit. Her grace wasn't passive, it was discerning. She didn't react to every provocation. She chose when to speak and when to hold her silence. That balance of intelligence, emotion, and dignity is timeless. Grace under fire is not weakness. It's emotional mastery. It's saying, I can feel hurt and still choose elegance. It's letting your silence hold more power than your anger. It's understanding that revenge wastes energy, but self-respect rebuilds it. Men are mesmerized by women who can hold composure in the midst of conflict. Not because she's robotic or detached, but because she's grounded in self-control. She doesn't let temporary emotions destroy permanent self-worth. That restraint, that calm fire, makes her unforgettable. Here's a question to reflect on. How do you show up when you're tested? Do you let emotions dictate your behavior, or do you stand anchored in your values even when it hurts? Because real grace is forged in discomfort. It's built when you choose not to let bitterness take root, even when you have every reason to. And when you master this, you'll find something beautiful happens. You no longer seek closure from others. because your peace becomes your closure. You stop chasing explanations and start creating emotional freedom. That's grace, not as performance but as power. 7. Feminine devotion. There's a sacred quality in women that the modern world often misunderstands. Devotion. Not blind loyalty, not self-sacrifice, but the deep, soulful ability to love wholeheartedly, to believe in something, to nurture it, to pour energy into it with faith and purpose. Feminine devotion is what makes women builders of homes, healers of hearts, creators of culture. It's the force that transforms relationships from transactional to transformational. But here's the truth: devotion must start with yourself. You cannot be devoted to someone else if you've abandoned yourself. A devoted woman doesn't give from emptiness, she gives from overflow. Her love isn't desperate, it's deliberate. It's grounded in self-awareness, and that's what makes it irresistible. Because men crave devotion. They crave the kind of woman who believes in them, who supports their mission. But they're equally drawn to a woman whose love is anchored in her own wholeness. Look at figures like Maya Angelou. Her life, her poetry, her activism, all radiated devotion, not just to people, but to purpose. Her femininity wasn't fragile, it was fierce. She gave deeply, but never lost herself. That's the essence of true feminine devotion. It's love with integrity. In relationships, devotion looks like presence. It's listening, not fixing. It's inspiring, not controlling. It's believing in the potential of a man without mothering him. It's standing beside him, not beneath him. But here's the balance. Devotion is powerful only when it's reciprocal. You can't pour endlessly into someone who refuses to pour back. Because when devotion turns one-sided, it becomes depletion. And a depleted woman loses her glow. So ask yourself, who or what receives your devotion? Does it align with your values? Does it expand you or does it drain you? True devotion is rooted in discernment. It's knowing where to invest your heart. It's choosing love not out of fear of loneliness, but out of faith in mutual growth. And that kind of love, the one born from choice, not need, is the most irresistible energy of all. When a woman is devoted to her purpose, her peace, and her personal growth, everything she does becomes radiant. Men feel that energy. It makes them want to protect it, honor it, rise to meet it. Because her love feels like sunlight. It nourishes without burning. It shines without begging. And it leaves warmth long after she's gone. The most irresistible quality a woman can ever possess isn't her beauty, her charm, or even her intelligence. It's her embodiment of self-awareness, grace, and love. It's the way she carries herself when no one's watching, the way she stays grounded when life tests her, and the way she gives without losing herself. That's what men can't resist. The woman who knows who she is and leads with her heart, not her fear. If this spoke to you, remember to subscribe, because there's more coming, more truth, more depth, and more conversations that will remind you of your worth and help you embody your feminine power with confidence and grace. Until next time, stay radiant, stay grounded, and never forget your femininity is your greatest strength.